Welcome to Love Notes, your Friday night ritual here in the Passion Zone. I'm Allie Theiss, your host for an hour of poems, dedications, music, and reflections on the many ways love finds us and keeps finding us. The poem tonight I'd like to read is I Carry Your Heart With Me by Cummings. I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I am never without it. Anywhere I go, you go, my dear. And whatever is done by only me is your doing, my darling. You know, what that poem reminds me of is love isn't always fireworks, is it? No, it's not. Sometimes it's the quiet knowing that someone's energy stays with you, no matter the distance or time. And tonight we're celebrating love in all its forms, from the playful to the steady, from the heartbreaks that shaped us to the surprises that remind us we're still capable of being swept away. And that brings us to our first dedication of the evening. This first note here is from Dani to her partner. We suck at dancing. Like people actually move away from us at weddings. But every time you grab my hand and pull me into the rhythm, I forget anyone else exists. Keep dancing with me even when the music stops. And a song she requested is Shut Up and Kiss Me by Mary Chapin Carpenter. Yes, that was a good song, and I haven't heard in a long time. Shut Up and Kiss Me by Mary Chapin Carpenter. When was the last time you heard that song? Ever? Have you ever heard Shut Up and Kiss Me? But it's a good song, and I'm very happily pleased that we got to play it tonight. You know, playfulness is connection in motion, isn't it? If you've ever shared a clumsy dance that turned into pure magic, and for joining me live, drop an emoji in the chat for me, would you? I'd absolutely love it. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Very good. Um, so that was our first dedication. So let's move on to our romance book spotlight of the week. And this week we have One Day by David Nicholls. Have you guys read that? Anybody here joining live? Have you read that? If so, drop an emoji in the chat, please. What this book is about is it's a love story told one day each year across 2 decades. One day captures the truth that timing can make or break connection. But real love leaves its fingerprints on every version of us. Does it not? Have you ever crossed paths with somebody? Maybe it might have felt like the right time, but it was really the wrong time. The wrong time, but maybe the right person. If so, drop me an emoji in the chat. I'd love to see it. Um, you know, we can't predict when we're going to fall in love with somebody. We can't predict when we're going to find somebody to fall in love, and to have someone fall in love with me. Um, it's a very unpredictable thing. Love is. It catches you off guard. It catches you when you least expect it, and a lot of times it catches you with somebody you didn't think either possible or probable that you'd ever end up in a relationship with them. That's what love is. It can be mind-boggling, um, sweeping off your feet, heart fulfillment, heart breaking, and everything else in between. It can be respect, being seen, being loved for who you are. Um, it's Love's just a wonderful thing. And I believe strong-heartedly that we need more of it in the world instead of what we keep seeing, whether you're on social media or you actually turn on the TV and watch something. Um, it is mind-boggling what we see. It's hardly ever anything good except for Francine. Francine, the cat from Lowe's, the warehouse cat that accidentally got on a delivery truck and went to a different state. phrasings back home, by the way. And that's a whole different kind of love, love for an animal. Here we're just talking about romantic love, but I do love in all shapes and sizes. And yes. All right. So let's move on to our second dedication of the evening already. Already. Now, this little note here is from Heather, and she's letting out to her husband. And she says, "You were my next door neighbor, my crush, and now my person. Thank you for reminding me that the best kind of love isn't found, it's grown one day at a time." Isn't that truth? All right. And she is requesting Forever Like That by Ben Richter. Hopefully I said his last name correctly. So let's go ahead. What a wonderful song. I don't think I've ever heard that song before. That was Forever Like That by Ben Rector. And you know, sometimes forever doesn't arrive in fireworks. It shows up in familiar hands and quiet laughter. And why don't you go ahead and drop me an emoji in the chat if you're joining me live here on TikTok? If your love story started off as a friendship. Yes, yes, yes. Very good. See, I knew we'd have some people listening that started off as friendship. I know my my favorite relationship started off as a friendship. It was neither one of my marriages, but it was a pretty good relationship while it lasted. But we were friends, and we still are friends to this day, which is really nice. So let's move forward, shall we, to our desire drop of the evening. And tonight's desire drop is all about emotional availability. With my She Be Me model when it comes to intimacy for women, this bridges the mind and emotional pillars, where desire deepens once we feel safe enough to be real. Emotional availability, it's not about oversharing. It's about being present. It's about presence. It's the courage to say, this is where I'm at right now, without fear that it'll push someone away. So if you have a partner, try this tonight. Ask your partner one simple question. What's something you've been feeling lately that you haven't said out loud? Then listen to the response. Don't fix it. Don't give advice. Just hear them. Now, of course, if they ask you for advice, please give it. Otherwise, just be there to listen for them, okay? To listen to what they have to say. Drop me an emoji in the chat if openness has ever unlocked something you didn't know was missing. Sometimes people won't talk about what's going on in their head until you bring it up and you ask them. But you always have to be careful too. When you ask the question, be sure you're actually ready for whatever answer it is. Food for thought here as I'm drinking my red hibiscus tea, which, by the way, it is good for you. So if you do not drink red hibiscus tea, I would advise you to start. And, go to your trusted source, Google this, Google red hibiscus if you want to, and find out all the nice health benefits of it. Because I can promise you, it is good for you. It's really good for you. And it doesn't add any caffeine or jitteriness to your jitteriness. I didn't even say that right. No, I didn't. And now I can't even think how to say it. Thank you, menopause brain fog. Um, no, never mind. We're not even going to go back to that word, but it is good for you. Um, and that's thankfully that's something I've learned over the years. May not be able to complete my PhD now because my funding has been pulled. My funding has been pulled, and then my federal work study program has been pulled. I'm thinking that the U.S. government does not want me to help women have better sex lives. That's what I'm thinking because it sure seems kind of obvious that's where we're headed, anyways. Um, but I will still move forth and help people as best as I can. Which brings us to dedication number three. Huh? This one's kind of bittersweet. This one is from Julian. To the one who taught me that love can be both beautiful and brief, I still smile when I hear your song. I hope you are dancing somewhere. And the song they requested is Fields of Gold by Eva Cassidy. That was Fields of Gold by Eva Cassidy. What a wonderful song that was. Um, if you would like to have a dedication here on uh, Love Notes, the link, if you're live here on TikTok, the link is up in the show's note or up in my profile. Go ahead and click on it. It'll take you to a page. Click on another link, and you can fill out the form for having a dedication. And if you're listening to the recorded version of this, it is in the show's notes. Just go below, click on the link, and make your dedication. Because let me tell you something. When you dedicate a song to somebody, and if you don't know what song to play, I'll pick one for you. Okay. Um, when you send a dedication out to someone, your energy goes to that person. When I say the dedication, when I play the song, your energy is going to them, and you will pop into their head for a split few seconds. It'll come out of nowhere, and they'll be like, "Where did I haven't thought of that person in years." Something like that. Um, and it's up to them if they think about you longer, but this puts the seed in their brain for you to think about, for them to think about you. So it's a nice way to get to be part of someone's energy, someone's brain power, and this kind of stuff only works like you get on top of their in their mind if you've met them or if you've seen them in person. So no, this does not work for celebrities at all. You cannot enter into, oh, I don't know who a popular star is anymore. Ryan Reynolds. You can't pop into his head if you've never met the man. So you can dedicate something to him, but it's not going to matter. You still won't pop in there. But if you know him and you've met him, um, you've seen him someplace, and you send a song, you could pop up in his head. All right. I'm looking right now at my phone. If you're wondering what I'm doing as I'm doing this live, there are some strange noises going outside my house. And since I am, I am not very trusting of people and doing crap, um, I like to look to see what's going on. And there seems to be a car across the street. I don't know what they're doing because I'm not going to sit there and stare at my phone that much. But there is somebody outside. At least I'm not hearing things. which which is a good thing. It's good to know at 58 I'm not hearing things anymore. Um, so let's move forward, shall we, to the romantic movie or the TV spotlight. And this week, last week it was Notting Hill. And as soon as I got done with the show and I uploaded the podcast version, I put on Notting Hill, watched the whole thing, and then went to bed. Tonight, this is one of my favorite movies ever. It's Love Actually from 2003. If you're joining me live and you've watched this movie before, please drop an emoji in chat. Um, if you haven't seen Love Actually, please do. It's a beautiful, messy, unapologetic celebration of every kind of love, whether it was romantic, family, unspoken, brave. It reminds us that love exists everywhere, in airport goodbyes, in handwritten notes, in awkward office crushes, and the friends who stand by us when everything else falls apart. Because At one point in time, all of us, it's going to happen to us. Everything's going to fall apart, and who is still standing around you? Those are your people. So if you have watched it, what is your favorite moment from Love Actually? I personally like the aging rock star. I thought he was absolutely hilarious. I of course I loved Hugh Grant playing the Prime Minister, and gosh, who else was there? Oh, Liam Nielsen. Hopefully I said his last name correctly. He's in it too, and he plays a wonderful part as well. So Love Actually, if you haven't watched it yet, I highly suggest you do go watch it. Okay? You won't be disappointed in the movie whatsoever. It is, if it has a cue card confession in there, like, yep, there was the band, and there went the band went out of my head. And I'll think of the band after I'm done recording this. It'll happen because that's how menopause brains work. So you forget something and it goes out into the ethers, and eventually it boomerangs back, but usually never in time. It's just a lovely little part of this. Um, so let's move forward, shall we, to our quick fire tip. This is practicing appreciation out loud, which is very nice. So before bedtime, name one thing you generally appreciate about your partner. Okay, not something they did, but something that they are. Affection, well, it can fade in silence, but appreciation does keep the fire alive. And if you don't have a partner, how about you tell yourself something about you that you really appreciate about yourself? Okay, because we are usually our worst critics, right? We usually say things to ourselves that we would never in a million years say to somebody else, right? But we do it to us. So why don't you tonight say something nice to you? All right? That that would be good for you and good for anybody else you know because it gives you some good energy, and good energy is contagious. So you give your good energy to somebody else. See how that goes? Love is fantastic, right? And that's why I do this. That's why I'm doing it, because I love love. Period. Um, I think there needs to be more love out there in the world. I think we need to talk about love more often. I think we need to be kinder to one another. I think we need to be more appreciative of one another. And for God's sakes, would it kill you to be a little bit romantic? I mean, come on. Um, Everybody is all flowers and candles, like unicorns and rainbows when you first start dating. But then life gets in the way and the romantic stuff fades. Well, I hate to tell you guys, but people happen to like the romantic stuff, both men and women, and any other gender fluid. They like romantic gestures. They like knowing that they're desired. They like a flower every once in a while, or a thoughtful gift of some kind. They like little love notes, just saying hi. I think you're sexy. Your butt looked awesome today. Love your butt in those jeans. Um, something that shows somebody else how much you care. Right? Right. So let us get here to our fourth and our last dedication of the evening. This last note comes from Savannah, and they are in New Orleans. This goes out to her partner. You came into my life when I stopped looking. No grand gestures, no games, just a nice, quiet, consistent love. That's how I know it's real. And they requested Truly, Madly, Deeply by Savage Garden. All right. All right. There we go. That was Truly Madly Deeply by Savage Garden. Now, if you would like to have a dedication for next Friday's show, please either go to my profile if you're here on TikTok, click the link, it'll take you to my link page. Click on the link for the dedication form and please just fill it out. If you are listening to this via podcast wise, it is below in the show's notes. So you can just click on that and listen away. It is good stuff for sure. And we're ending a bit sooner tonight than we normally do. I started it a bit early, just because I got no sleep last night, and I am struggling to stay awake right now, and I just really need to go to bed. So I apologize for doing this a bit early and cutting it a bit short, even though all the segments are in, but I haven't talked as much as I normally do. But I do want to thank you for joining me here tonight for Love Notes. We danced a bit, didn't we? Through clumsy love, lifelong devotion, tender memories, and the many way love actually shows up in our lives. And if you'd like your dedication or maybe a favorite song or you know of a romance book or romance movie, anything that you want me to talk about, submit it through the link in my bio, in the show's notes, or at the Passion Zone. And I'd be more than happy to help you out. All right. Again, I know this is ending earlier than we usually do, but I really do need to get to bed tonight and get more than an hour and a half of sleep, which is all I've done today, which is not good for anybody.